Right, so now I'm going to add a new layer on top of the old balloon copy layer, and I need to press return to set the scale because it wasn't going to let me do anything, and add a new layer, and it went right above the selected layer. And with the selected layer, I'm going to, if you're watching on screen here, I'm going to go to the rectangular marquee, okay, and I'm going to fill this with white. I'm going to click on the default foreground and background color chips, bringing white to the front by clicking on the arrow and option delete. Okay. And now I'm going to come down to the bottom of the poster here where the old balloon copy is. I'm going to get the eraser tool, eraser, and I'm going to get a large eraser, but I'm going to put a soft opacity on here. Very soft, like 16%. So I'm just going to be erasing the bottom of the image and should be on the old balloon copy layer. Make sure I'm on the right layer here. I am. It's really going slow. It's really painful. Okay, so is it even doing anything? It would seem not. Okay, let's make sure there's nothing selected. I just went Command D so that I made sure nothing was selected. And now I see it's changing, so I think there was something selected. I'm going to make the brush smaller, and I'm going to just paint behind the text here to bring some of this green back in here, the base of the image. Okay. Right, I'm happy with that. And I think around the edges of the image, I'm just going to bring in some of the more color here, a little more color over here. This echo of this balloon there, that's probably one of the key things that makes it interesting to look at is these repeating shapes. Not so sure about what all that is. I'm just going to bring in, I'm going to back out again, Command Z, Shift Command Z, and I'll bring this forward. And I'm going to get a white brush. I'm going to click on the brush tool. And I'm going to stop in a second to give you a pause. You know, what you're doing is probably, quite different than what I'm doing, but that's probably good enough for now. In terms of the image content, I'm good with that. Should have a hand with some wine coming in on one side. Going back to my search. I'm assuming I'm still in safe imaging, but yeah. Okay, safe search. And I want a hand holding a wine glass. The old hand holding the wine glass image is what I need. Now, none of these things are at all what I want them to be. Certainly, some of them are really not what I want them to be. All right, what's up with that? Who do we got? We got that. That's just, the background's too complicated. I don't want that one. Then we have the wine glass. This is almost it, but hand holding, let's try this. Hand holding glass of wine. No, I just did. Hand holding glass of white wine. Let's get picky here. Anything? Anything? Very sad. Got worms. That won't work. Right, what else? All right, so I'll probably have to get some less specific size thing here. And this is just a sad state of affairs. I might need to take this picture myself, or I might need to buy it because I'm not finding what I need at all. And you can see here, labeled with for reuse with modification, not filtered by license, labeled for reuse. Let's try that. Should be less images, not more, so I don't know. Well, that's actually kind of cool, but no. Okay, how about hand holding a bottle of wine? Hand holding a bottle of wine. And what do we got here? Frightening. Shoot. That's heartbreaking. I have to give up the design business now because I have no more ideas. Okay, so now instead of doing that, I'm just going to get a glass of wine. How about glass of wine? If I found the right hand holding any glass of wine, I could switch the bottle. Glass of wine. That's where we're going with that, glass of wine. Okay. Sure, this will do. This could be great. All right, so I'm going to go with this one. I like this one. And again, Control-click and copy image and flip over to Photoshop. And oh my God, this is horrific. On top of the old balloon image, Command-V, click OK. Command-V is paste. Move the image. I'm going to move it down here. It's kind of an afterthought, but you know. Then with this layer selected, I'm going to do a overlay. I'm going to do a lighten. I'm going to do a multiply. Multiply will get rid of all the white, so that's probably not a good idea. All right, so none of that's making me happy. I'm going to go back to normal. Z for zoom tool, and click and drag. Now, there are a lot of ways that you can do this. This is not the only way, but I'm going to cut the background out. So I'm going to move the image over so I can get the whole thing. And my first task that I like to do when I remove a background is the hack and slash. And that is taking a large amount of content out quickly and not trying to be too perfectionistic about it. So I've selected just the glasses with the lasso tool very quickly and roughly. However, that is not the piece I want to keep. I'm going to go under select. Please be looking on screen. Select, inverse. There it is, inverse. And then if I press delete, I have now cropped most of that out or deleted it. Really not the same as cropping. Command D. And I'm going to zoom in. Command Z. Click and drag over the top of the wine glass. And now with attention to detail, I can select using the lasso tool by clicking and moving small bits of space at a time. I'm selecting and trying to chop out. Each piece I delete, then I go select, deselect, spacebar, push up, let go. I'm still on the lasso tool, and I'll surround this piece and keep it going all the way down to the edge like this. Okay. It's kind of like stitching. Feels like you're sewing a little bit. You're clicking and moving instead of stitching and moving. And I'm going to travel around the edges of this. Delete, deselect, zoom out. All right, I'm just going to move this over, move tool, and I will get back to making that perfect later. For the meantime, as I'm almost out of battery, the next thing I'm going to talk about here is how to make this text stand out a little bit better. Couple of items. Number one, I'm going to zoom in on the URL text. So I'm going to find that layer, and that's this one. I'm going to click it. I'm now going to go to the zoom tool and click and drag to zoom in on that layer. A little too close there, Photoshop. Okay. Now, text tool. It's probably one of the most important things. And I'm going to come over to this text element and I'm going to click and drag across it. Hopefully, I will be selecting the text. As you can see, I have done that. Now I'm going to come over here to the color, change that to white, which looks hecka better. Okay. And then again, I need to select the right tool. That's the move tool. And zoom out, Command minus. Okay, so that piece is looking better. The address here almost fits in this little spot. So that's not too bad. I'm kind of getting away with it here pretty well. And then my June information time. Now, if I put this in just the right place, I might get it, but you know what? I kind of feel like there isn't really a right place for this right now. So instead of trying to force it, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to just drop it here, and then I'm going to play with the alignment of the text. I'm going to select the text. Come on, June 12th. Okay, there it goes, selected. I'm going to align it to the right instead of the left, go back to the Move tool, and place it where I think it should go. Come on, Move tool, you can do it. Nice, all right, now I'm going to place it here. Right there. Pretty good, actually. I'm just going to make a couple of small adjustments. So, text tool, five clicks. Here, I'm going to decrease the size of the text. It's 30 on 30. I'm going to make it 26 on 22. I actually think that looks okay, and I'll move it over. Now, I know you can't read this. That's unacceptable. But I can probably do something really simple, really quickly. Okay? Here's what I'm going to do. With this layer 2 here, that one, layer 2, remember that one? I know you do. I'm going to go over here to the paintbrush tool. And with the paintbrush tool on that layer 2, I'm actually going to use white, the opacity of this white brush. White is in the front color chip. And then I'm going to make the brush larger, right bracket. I'm going to make the opacity less, 50%-ish. And I'm going to paint right like that. Ooh, ah, you can read it now. So just drop some white paint or white pixels behind there. I'm going to do the same thing here where the address is. Okay, so you can still see the photo, but this little white bit of color now makes that text stand out a lot better. I'm really not happy with the style of the text yet. That might take me quite a bit longer than just getting everything in place. But once I do get the right style and cut these out, which I will do between now and next week, okay, this thing will take on a life of its own. It will be really pretty cool, I think. We've got something really unique and special here. This is, as I said, totally not the right typeface. That is not working for me at all. But that's the workflow for putting your object together and the kinds of things that you should expect, okay? This was the white layer. You can see if I just show you the white layer, how it looks just with the balloon color copy layer. This is that white layer here, off on, okay? And then here is my balloon copy layer. Totally makes it. And now you kind of want it to be the 105th Annual Wine Club Balloons and Beaujolais Fest because of that old antique photo. So maybe it should be the, let's even just say the 50th annual. Okay, am I on the right layer? No, I am not. I have to show myself the layer, and then I can click on the layer and edit it. Okay. All right, I'm going to undo that before I put this text in here, and I'm going to make this line smaller, just so I don't have to suffer so much. I make it smaller first, and then put the extra text element in, so it fits. I don't have to like, I messed it up. Right? So you know, you want to think strategically to make it more pleasant to use these tools. All right, and here's the address again. I'm moving that down up. I'm not moving the right layer. I'm going to click at the at layer. Here we go. And move that one down. I'm using the arrow keys to nudge it. I do think it's a pretty noisy poster. There's a lot going on it. Probably much too much going on down here. I might want to do something completely else to get rid of this situation down here so it's more legible, like drop a sky down there, forget about the fairgrounds. Okay, and this is Photoshop class. I'm going to do this last thing, and then we're going to stop, and I'm going to give you some time to work with each other and with me, okay? So I can come around and help people. So I'm just going to do a basic sky background here. Right? And, you know, something mellow like this would probably be fine. Control click, copy image, tab over to Photoshop, And I'm going to make sure it goes on the right layer, which is going to probably be above the old balloon layer. Command V, click OK. Command T to stretch this. Okay, stretch it. I'm liking this much better already. Okay. Okay, maybe there. Hit the return key. And again, I'm going to duplicate this in case I decide I messed it up and I need to go back. And then I'm going to use the eraser tool. Eraser. And my eraser opacity is 16%. And that's helpful because I want to only reveal a little at a time. Now maybe on these edges I want to reveal more quickly. So here I'll go 83 and kind of clean that up. And now if I take that down and I'm going to undo that, paint through here. Yes, 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 better. And try it again. Drag, maybe just there. Okay. So I may need to still move elements around some more, but I'm starting to think this is much more successful. And then I'll go back and change any text color, etc. So that would be, one more time, clicking this layer, bless you, going to the text tool, and that would be here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here I'm going to change this to a dark blue. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there, and I think that you probably get a better idea of what to expect. You're supposed to be trying to incorporate some of these techniques. If you have anything specific you would like me to show you personally tonight, it's always good people around you can watch, and sometimes people want to know the same things. It would be great to start doing some of that work now. I would like to suggest that you share your sketches with another person and work on your work now with me nearby for the next 45 minutes. Does that sound like a deal? All right.